Dot digs. Dot digs deep. Dot digs a pit. Dot digs a deep pit. Dot digs deep in a pit. Dot hits. Dot hits a home run. Dot runs home. Run, Dot. Dot sits. Dot sits at the site. Dot sits in a seat. Dot sits in a seat at the site. Dot has a hat. Dot puts on his hat. Dot put on his hat at the site. Dot cooks. Dot cooks with a pan. Dot cooks with his pan in the kitchen. Dot also has a pot. The pot. The pot. Dot cooks with the pot. Dot cooks with his pot and pan in the kitchen. Dot has a pen. Dot writes with his pen. Dot has paper. Dot has a piece of paper. Dot writes on his paper. Dot writes with his pen on his paper. Dot writes dots on his paper. Dot writes dots with his pen. Dot writes dots with his pen on his paper. Dot has a desk. Dot sits at his desk. Dot sits at his desk and writes. Dot writes dots with his pen on his paper at his desk. Dot dots his paper. Dot dots. Dot dot. Dot dunks. Dot dunks his dumplings. Dot has a bowl. Dot has dumplings in his bowl. Dot dunks his dumplings in his bowl. Dot eats. Dot eats beans. Dot eats beans and dumplings. Dot has a plate. Dot eats beans and dunked dumplings on his plate. Dot has a dog. It is a puppy dog. Dot pets his dog. Dot pats his dog on the head. Dot pats his dog on the head and gives him a treat. Good dog. Dot likes cake. Dot makes a cake. Dot bakes a cake in a pan. Dot bakes the cake in the oven. Dot likes soup. Dot boils soup in a pot. Dot boils the soup on the stove. Dot eats his soup from a bowl. Dot eats his cake on a plate. Dot is full. Dot finds his loot. Look, a loot. Dot has a loot. Dot likes his lute. Dot plays the lute. Dot plays a tune on his lute. Sing a song. Sing along. Sing a song along while Dot plays a tune on his lute. Dot goes. Dot goes out. Dot goes outside. Dot meets Mike. Dot meets Mac. Dot meets Mike and Mac. Dot meets Mike and Mac outside. Dot, Mike, and Mac see a ball. They play ball. They hit the ball. Oh, happy day. Dot says bye. Bye, Mike. Bye, Mac. Dot didn't see the mud. Dot steps in the mud. The mud has muck. Dot's feet have mud. Dot's feet have muck. Dot's feet have mud and muck. Yuck! Dot goes home. Dot goes in. Dot goes inside. Dot cleans. Dot cleans his shoes. Dot's shoes are clean. Dot is home. Dot is happy. Bye, Dot. Dot goes. Dot goes out. Dot goes outside. Dot meets Mike. Dot meets Mac. Dot meets Mike and Mac. Dot meets Mike and Mac outside. Dot, Mike, and Mac see a ball. They play ball. They hit the ball. Oh, happy day. Dot says bye. Bye, Mike. Bye, Mac. Dot didn't see the mud. Dot steps in the mud. The mud has muck. Dot's feet have mud. Dot's feet have muck. Dot's feet have mud and muck. Yuck! Dot goes home. Dot goes in. Dot goes inside. Dot cleans. Dot cleans his shoes. Dot's shoes are clean. Dot is home. Dot is happy. Bye, Dot.